All right, Shalom. First off, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash, the blessings to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone and rule well, and peace and blessing to the elect. This is another edition of GMS News and Prophecy, and I have another article. This is from financialtribune.com, and this headline, U.S. national debt exceeds $21 trillion. And this is from yesterday, Sunday, March 18th, 2018. All right, it says the U.S. national debt exceeded $21 trillion for the first time on Thursday. All right, it says the U.S. national debt exceeded $21 trillion for the first time on Thursday, a little more than 6 months after it hit first $20 trillion on September 18th. The national debt was 21.031 trillion on Thursday. The government releases total debt figures each business day, but it lags by 1 day. All right, it says federal borrowing has been on the rise again since February, when Congress passed legislation to suspend the debt ceiling. That move allowed the government to borrow as much as it needs to fund the activities approved by Congress, news outlets reported. Right, now if you remember, during that time earlier this year, January, February, the government had shut down, I believe not once, but twice, So the U.S. national debt has been nothing but growing, man. Okay, and that's because the economy is based off a false system of currency, which is the Federal Reserve note, which is an actual private owned organization that prints basically monopoly money, man. Okay, it's the system that we use is a credit-based system that's based off of an IOU paper currency, which is the Federal Reserve note, okay, or FRN, or the dollar, okay, the U.S. dollar, all right. And what happens is, with it not being backed, because it's something called a fiat currency, meaning it's a fake currency. It's not the currency, the U.S. dollar is not backed by any real substance. It's not backed by any commodity, whether it be gold, silver, copper, or anything else that is that isn't necessarily a renewable resource. Okay, so what happens is, with it being based off of credit or not backed by anything, you can always add to the amount of U.S. dollars in circulation by either printing the money or giving the digital amount of money to the different central banks, whether it be here in America or abroad. All right, and that's what the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, deals with as well. All right, so what has been going on over the last, you could say 80 plus years since the Federal Reserve Act was signed and put into actually 100 years since the Federal Reserve Act was put into law. The debt of the United States has been going up, and especially over the last 15 years or so, since 9/11, since George W. Bush was in office, and then Obama, and now Trump. It's been going up tremendously. All right. So with more money in the in circulation, as I said, that means the value of the dollar is going down because it's so much of it out there. Okay. So that means that it's not a viable source to use to pay for debts. because it's not really valued. You know, it's like buying a Ferrari with it's it's like buying a Ferrari with monopoly money, and then when it's time to pay up, you know you don't necessarily have any collateral. Well, let's say you buy a Ferrari or something, and you know you use your credit, but you don't have any collateral. Anything of substance to back it up with, then that car can get repoed. That's basically what the U.S. government is dealing with. You know. So now what's happening is, or what's eventually going to happen, the economy is going to crash, and that's going to be the elites, which own the Federal Reserve note, the private entity, is basically going to ask for America back from the government. So the government is really owing the Federal Reserve, which is the elite banking families, the elites. So the debt that they owe is just going up and up. All right. But let me get into the article. It says under the law passed in February, the government will not face any borrowing limit until March 1st, 2019. So you got almost damn near a year that they could just add on to the debt and just spend. Okay. It says at this current pace, the government is on track to add at least $100 trillion to the national debt by then. So a whole another trillion. That's from 2 years of Trump being in office, man. Okay. For example, the debt grew by more than $500 billion in the 6 weeks since the debt ceiling was lifted on February 9th. And that's just this year. A large part of the national debt reflects the federal budget deficit, or the amount of spending above the revenues collected by the government, which is from all the different departments, or taxes. So it says, but the debt is rising faster than the amount of the budget deficit, as it also reflects things like federal lending for student loans and mortgage programs. Peter G. Peterson Foundation President Michael Peterson said the mile marker is just the beginning, as Congress has just agreed to spend even more. Our national debt reached a staggering $21 trillion today, having grown by $1 trillion in just the past 6 months, he said. All right, but now it's grown to almost $500 billion in 6 weeks. So what's going to happen in the next month or two? You understand? So America is steadily on the decline, man. It says, worse yet, this unfortunate milestone has only just begun to include the effects of the recent fiscally irresponsible tax and spending legislation, which added more debt on top of an already unsustainable trajectory. Right? And it says the deficits worsen. And it's going to continue to worsen, okay? It's going to continue to just rise and go up, all right? So down here it says the dollar is bleeding. I'm going to read the last paragraph. It says, in the first 5 months of this fiscal year, the interest cost of servicing the U.S. debt soared to $203 billion, which is up 8% compared with a year ago, and the most on record for any October to February period. The sharp increase comes as the U.S. public debt has crossed $21 trillion, and with the effective interest rate now rising with every passing month, it is virtually assured that this number will keep rising for the months ahead. All right? So this is the decline of America, okay? And it's prophecy, all right? And prophecy, according to Scripture, states that the American economy will crash, man, because of its debt. All right. So, matter of fact, let's. I had the scripture in Habakkuk, but another scripture came to mind. So let's go to the book of not Habakkuk, the book of Zephaniah. I believe it's the first chapter. Let's see. Right. It's Zephaniah 1:11. It says, "How ye inhabitants Matter of fact, no, verse 10. All right, verse 10 says, "And it shall come to pass in that day, saith the Lord, Yahweh Bashmiah Shai, that there shall be the noise of a cry from the fish gate, and an howling from the second, and a great crashing from the hills." Because there's going to be a crashing, just like it was here. It's going to be another great crashing of the economy, which is going to be here in America. It's going to be a great crash, which is going to be worse than the crash in '08, worse than the crash in 1929. Okay, the start of the Great Depression. Okay, it's going to be worse. It says, "How ye inhabitants of Maktesh, for all the merchant people are cut down, all they that bear silver are cut off." So these merchants and these people and these businesses that have been investing in America, they're being cut off now. And they're being cut off because of the debt that America has. That's why you see different stores like Toys R Us and Walmart and these other stores going out of business and closing down their stores and their buildings because they're not producing as much anymore. Okay? So now let's go back to Habakkuk, the second chapter. All right, Habakkuk 2. All right, I'll get to the point. Habakkuk 2 and 4. All right, it says, "Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him." This is talking about the wicked. All right, his soul and his spirit is not upright because he's the wicked, the so-called white man or Esau. It says, "But the just shall live by his faith." And the just are the elect of Israel that are watching for the prophecies and seeing things come to pass. And this our faith and our belief in Yahweh Bashmiah Shai's words through the prophecies. That's how we sustain ourselves. Okay, and it goes on to say, it says, "Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man," which wine represents a philosophy. All right, and like I said, once again, this is talking about the so-called white man. He's proud. This is "neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is as death." It can't be any other race on the planet but these Edomites, the so-called white race, and their power structure. Mainly through America, they've gone through all the earth, caused war and death, and brought hell on these different societies. Okay. It says, "It cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people," which is through war. Okay? It says, "Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him?" So now these other nations are going to start going away from America. Like, for example, I believe it's Iran is no longer dealing with the U.S. dollar. Okay, and they're also preparing war the same way that Russia, China, and these other countries. Okay, it says, "And say, woe to him that increases that which is not his. How long?" Right? How long is America going to continue to hammer the earth? How long are these Edomites going to continue to lie and deceive? Okay, to get what they have. All right, and have people take their debt, man. It says, "And to him that laid himself with thick clay." Now, when you look up this word thick clay in the Hebrew, all right, the word thick clay in the Hebrew is the word ibatyat, which means weight of pledges, because that's what a Federal Reserve note is. It's a pledge to pay something that is owed, which, in truth be told, the American dollar or the U.S. dollar is not backed by anything, so there's really nothing that you can pledge. All right, and then it says heavy debts. Okay. All right, heavy debts. All right. Right, which is ibat, which means to take a pledge, to give a pledge for a debt. And that's what the Federal Reserve note is. When you look on it, it says this note is legal tender for all debts, public and private. You read there on the right hand side of the American dollar. So this is the debts of the so-called white man is being stacked up right now through this American economy. Okay, and it's quickly rising. All right, see if I can refresh this. Well, it looks like it got Satan on it. Let me go back. Okay, here we go. That was just the image. Okay, but yeah, so it says the U.S. national debt exceeds $21 trillion. Okay, and it's thick clear these debts are just going to rise until the economy of America crashes, man. Like I read in Zephaniah, the first chapter. And this is from the Lord, man. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah. He's the one bringing all this to pass. All right, so Babylon the Great is out of here, man. It's falling. Okay, but with that, I'm going to end it there. Give all praise once again to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the elect. I hope you all were edified. And until the next time, Shalom.